Thrilled to be joined now on the Sideline Guys, powered by Gainbridge, by Pacers guard Aaron Nesmith. We want to know there's a nice break in the schedule here between the Philadelphia series, and then will be a busy Thanksgiving week. So we are talking to Aaron here during this stretch, kind of fresh off a couple games in Philadelphia. So let's start there, especially the second game. You guys get the opportunity to adjust after falling in the opener, and it seemed like even though you only had a day to do so and maybe tinker a little bit, that you guys were able to fully execute a game plan, a game where you led from nearly start to finish. What were the keys to those adjustments and making them stick so rapidly?
I think that little mini series was very important for us as a young team with playoff aspirations, just because that was like a mini little playoffs experience for us. As you know, play 2-2, 2 at home, 2 on the road. So for us to be able to play 2 on the road on a team like Philly, lose game one, come have a day to adjust, practice, but not go too hard because we still got a game the next day, and just be able to really like hone in and take what we're told and be able to execute that, I think was a big step for us moving forward.
Take us through that game a little bit, because it felt like one where a lot of resiliency was shown. There were a few instances where the 76ers were going on a run, and I think maybe some people might have thought, okay, here's where they overtake you, here's where they pull things away, and yet every time the Pacers had an answer. What was the key to that?
I think it was, getting off to a good start. We had the lead early, and every time that they made their run, we did a good job of making our own run. So we never let them get the lead or get comfortable. And then one of the things that we talked about was offensive rebounds. So, we gave up 23 offensive rebounds in the first game, and I think we only gave up like 5 in the second one.
We'll move on, talk big picture throughout this podcast, but I do want to ask one more specific question about that Philadelphia game, and that's you guarding Joel. I know adjustments are part of something that happens when you play a team twice in a row. Was that part of the thought process going in, or strictly by necessity due to the fouls and then the injury situation that you had to go do that?
I would say it was a necessity thing for fouls. We had all 3 of our big men in foul trouble. Didn't have Daniel Tice that game. That was the first game without him. And we just looking down the line. I'm a big, strong guard. I pride myself on defense. And that 5-6 minute stretch I had in the second quarter on him, we were able to make a little run, turn the game around a little bit. So, it was big time, but it was hard.
So it happens by necessity. Now it works so well. You'll play them again. You'll play other good centers. Is it something that can now be in the toolbox where game plans could call for a situation, and maybe it's just a different look. Maybe it's 3 possessions where you go in and provide a different look, and you're capable of it, because there will not be many centers that are as challenging as
I definitely agree. And, not even just on a really, really big guy like Joel Embiid, but another 5, it allows us to have situations where I could switch onto the ball handler, like we can just switch guard to guard. And I'll take the opposing team's ball handler and creator sometimes. So it works in that way as well.
Defensively, it seemed like there might have been a lot you guys were able to learn over the past week or so, because you had the 2 against Embiid, and then you had Giannis before that. So a couple of MVPs you guys took on, and obviously the Pacers did a terrific job. You all did on Giannis in the last 4 or 5 minutes of that game when it really mattered. I know schematically, defensively, things have changed this year, and some of that's still a work in progress, but what do you gain from going up against players like that, teams like that, and what can you take away from it when you have success like you did?
Just take the small wins. You go into those games knowing those guys are probably going to get theirs, but how do you eliminate the others? And I think we did a good job in the Milwaukee game and in the Philly game of eliminating the others and letting nobody else have a big night. Besides for Tyrese. Tyrese had a big night in our first game against Philly, and that's why we lost the game. But I think being able to focus on that and not get so worried up in the wow factor of some of these guys is a big step for us moving forward.
When you're this early in the season, a couple wins or a couple of losses can feel maybe a little bit more dramatic, but where you guys sit, where we're talking to you right now, it feels like in a pretty good spot through 11 games. And we were sitting here a few weeks ago talking with Rick, and he said that he really spotlighted perhaps the first 16 games of the season and said 11 to 16 at home, this is where we have to lay a foundation for the season. At least right now, how proud are you of the foundation that you guys have laid this far?
I'd say we're pretty proud of it. I think we're definitely trending in the right direction. He's made that a point of emphasis for us as well. It's like this is our favorable part of the schedule. We got to get off to a good start, and I think we have, except for like the one game we dropped to Charlotte. I think that's one I think everybody wants back. But we bounced back from that game. We continue to improve, and we're sitting at 7-4, looking to continue to stride.
There is no doubt, Aaron, that defense is one of your strengths. I want to go back to whether it's AAU, high school, going into college, or the draft process. Was there a point where you realized and understood that was something that you could hang your hat on, that of all the things that you do, I can be a lockdown defender? Do you remember that? Because a lot of guys focus on offense so much when they're growing up.
Yeah, I would say it definitely wasn't until my Boston days. I would say so, just because it was one of the things that allowed me to stay on the floor during my time there. And then when I came here, that was one of the first things that Rick and Chad and KP talked to me about, was that they think I was the best on-ball defender, or one of the better on-ball defenders coming to the team. And so that's something that they challenged me to be good at. And so, when they gave me that challenge, I accepted it.
Do you remember the draft process? Because you had a unique one that I do want to ask a little bit more about in a minute. But do you remember how they described you? Because I think I can remember 3-and-D when you were acquired from Boston, not having seen you play a lot. So you had that D, you said maybe from Boston, but before that, maybe it was more the 3 and less the D?
Yeah, I would say definitely in college, probably a little bit more 3 and less the D. Yeah.
But was the draft analysis or what they were saying about you, was that something you really took in and tried to use that as motivation or things to improve on?
Nah, not really. I don't really think back to those days too much, just because people are going to speculate. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, but at the end of the day, I know my game and I know who I am. So
the Pacers have acquired quite a few players from that draft class, even though you did not get the true draft experience because it was 2020 and there were not a lot of draft workouts. The guys that are now your teammates that were in that draft, did you know them that well, or did you have a chance at all to kind of get to know them?
Nah, unfortunately, no. Just because, like you said, we got so many dudes from our draft. It's crazy.
And I don't think the Pacers even had a first-round pick that year, but then now they've got 4 or 5 of those guys.
They didn't have a first-round pick, and now we have 4 first-round picks from that draft. So that is pretty crazy, but I didn't get to know any of those guys just because the COVID process was different, so that was unfortunate. Didn't get to go to the green room. I know everybody else that's here with me definitely is upset about that as well. So it was a little bit different experience, but it was still cool.
All's well that ends well.
Yeah, all well that ends well.
When you look at where this team is right now, as we're talking, number 1 in the NBA in offense, and I know you guys knew that you were capable of that, but when you watch this group, I mean, the offense is just so relentless. I can think of maybe 1 or 2 dry spells all season, and maybe one of them was the first quarter of the first game. And so much of that is the depth, right? But take me through why this offense is clicking so well so early in the season.
I would say just we play random, so it's hard for teams to guard. They don't know what's coming, what's happening. We move fast, we play fast, and we play a fun style of basketball. We play a brand of basketball where it could be anybody's night on any given night, and everybody's happy for that person whenever it's their night. For example, like our last game, Obi had 27 or whatever, hooping. Everybody's happy for Obi. I played well against Cleveland. Everybody's happy for me, and I think that's a big part of our team and our chemistry.
I'm glad you brought that up because it seems like a formula for this team is, look, Ty has looked every bit of a superstar here, Haliburton to begin the season, and then there's so much depth and so many guys that are capable that you don't need the same exact guys to step up night in, night out. You just need maybe 2 or 3 guys to step up. You've been a part of that numerous times, but is that kind of how you view it, and how dangerous can you be when you have so many guys, 6, 7 guys that are capable of filling those roles?
Yeah, I mean, that's why I think we're number 1 offense in the league right now, is because it is dangerous. It's hard to guard. It's hard to predict. And Ty does a great job of finding everybody and making everybody's life easy. So I'd say that's definitely a big part as to why we're having the offensive success that we're having.
Big moment for you just prior to the start of the season, signing that contract. And when you're a first-round pick, correct me if I'm wrong, there probably is a little bit of relief in that I'm going to get guaranteed 2 years. And pretty much as long as you can play well your first year, you're going to get that third year picked up. But the entire time in those rookie contracts, are you thinking a little bit about wanting to prolong your career, to get that next deal? And all last year you showed everyone here what you're capable of, and then the two sides were able to come together and get that deal that, let's be honest, it's life-changing money.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I always wanted a second contract because I want to play as long as I can and contribute any way that I can to winning. So getting that second contract is a blessing. It's a dream come true. But in the moment, I don't really think about it just because I always say, like, what's meant to be will be. But it definitely was a goal of mine.
What's the process once you sign that? Some people would say, oh, well, he's got some guaranteed money, he can relax. But I think anybody that's in the position you are has succeeded because they don't let up. They want more, or they want to prove that was, worthwhile to the team.
Yeah. I would say it's just like never being satisfied. And I think that's what the great players do and are. And like you said, I'm not done. I want more. I want to continue to win. I want to help turn this franchise around and get back into the playoffs. So it's just never being satisfied, never taking your foot off the gas pedal.
How surprised were you when you got the call, or if you got it in a different manner, when you found out you were traded?
I was happy, to be honest with you. Like, I knew I was going to get opportunity here. I wanted to change the scenery. So I was definitely happy. And then as soon as I met everybody else here, like the people, staff, Rick, teammates, it was really a night and day difference. And I was extremely happy to be here, which is why I was also very grateful and super eager to be able to extend my time here.
Your and Jordan's story are a little similar in that you're on championship contending teams and in a position where there's a lot of really talented guys in front of you, and because of that, it's harder to show what you're capable of doing. But I'm wondering, maybe in Boston, those practices against guys like Jason and Jalen and some of those guys, I mean, how much better are you because of those experiences, and how much are the Pacers able to benefit because of that?
I get asked that question a lot, and I would say I took the little things from those guys. Somebody that I always mention is Al Horford, just because Al had such a strict routine that he did every single day, whether it was an off day, practice day, game day. He had a strict routine, and I would say that's the main thing I took from my time in Boston, was having a routine that works for me, and something that I do every single day to get my body prepared to play, eating correctly. I would say those are the things I took being a pro, I would say.
I want to clarify something from your time in Boston. I think the first time the Pacers played the Celtics, one of their media members asked about how's Crash doing, but you don't like that nickname, is that correct?
Nah.
Yeah, pretty clear. So
yeah.
Did someone give it to you and you said, I don't like that, or maybe give me some background there, just you don't think it fits?
I honestly I can't even remember who gave it to me. It may have been Tristan Thompson, who actually spent some time here for a little bit. It may have been him, but no, I'm not a fan of the nickname.
So when we had a feature on you, or a segment on the pregame show a couple weeks ago, our producer Ken Softman always looks up the basketball reference pages, and on there are often nicknames, some of which I've determined are not really real, but yours, you had none listed. Yeah. And you're one of the few players that didn't have any, so he wanted to do a to get you a nickname.
Yeah.
Are there any nicknames you like, or that have been used?
Just call me Double.
Double.
Yeah,
Double A.
Double A.
Okay. Well, KJ Pritchard was watching the show, and he responded via Twitter, and he liked Three Smith. So
that's a good one, too.
You like that? You're okay with that?
Yeah, I like Three Smith. Rick calls me Beast Smith. Double. I
like that, Beast Smith.
Those are the three that I'll take. Anything else, I'm good.
All right, we're going to have to find the the editors at Basketball Reference. Kind of like Wikipedia, I think you can do that pretty easily. Basketball Reference, you have to go through some extra channels, but we've got 3 good ones.
Yeah, those 3 good ones.
All right.
See if we have anybody on the inside there. But Trash Crash, is that what we're going with? We're getting
Get rid of it. Yeah.
Even though he does crash the boards well, we're just...
trash the nickname. I think when Pacers fans think about you, they think about that baseline dunk. I think that's the one memory that probably sticks out to most Pacers fans when you think about your time here. And look, you've had a lot of great moments, but is that like the singular moment that stands out to you, or is it a little different when you're a player and in those shoes?
Nah, I mean, I don't really think about it, you know. So I mean, I understand from the fan perspective, and that would be the play that would come to mind. But I really don't. Like, every day is new. I'm focused on the next. Yeah.
We've talked about the depth on this team, and it goes beyond the guys that are playing. And I'm wondering what practices are like, and really the locker room as a whole, because we've certainly never been around a Pacers team that's been like this, and I'm really struggling to think of teams around the NBA where not only do you have as much depth as you do through 9, but really I think everybody from 10 through 15, and maybe even beyond there, could make a pretty good case to be in the rotation, and that could cause problems, and it hasn't here. But what's that dynamic been like in general?
I think it's just like it's healthy competition. Like, training camp was very, very competitive, and it was healthy. And it pushed everybody to be better, brought everybody closer. And like I said, we're all cheering for each other's success for that reason, because we all know that we're all capable. We're all really good basketball players, and we all want to see each other succeed.
It takes a little bit of selflessness from everybody, though, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Let's go off the court just a little bit. Golf, would you say that's the number one hobby or thing you like to do, maybe summertime, free time?
Yeah, I'd say golf and TV shows. Simple man. Golf and TV shows, that's all I do.
When did you first swing a club, or when did golf enter the picture?
My dad tried to get me to play golf when I was a kid, but I thought it was too boring. It's too slow paced. But then, I want to say 2 years ago now, I had a little charity event with Chris Middleton back home in Charleston. And it was a golf event, and since my name was on it, I was like, I can't show up and not know how to swing a club. So then I went to like the local driving range, and I just started swinging, and it was peaceful when I finally, like, you know, I took the initiative to get into it, not somebody telling me like, hey man, like, play golf. And I just started, the peacefulness really just started to resonate with me.
So I'm trying to picture this. You walking up to the range and they give you the little green bucket.
Yeah, just I'm just whacking.
So you
away.
taught yourself to swing initially?
Pretty much. I knew how to hold the club, and from there I just kind of figured the rest out. Yeah.
And that's Bruce Brown's a big golfer, right? So have you golfed together yet?
I've golfed with Bruce.
How's the...
Well, he's better than me. He's been golfing a lot longer than me. Yeah, so he's better than me. Janelle Pargo's he's up there. He's probably the best, like, NBA player I've played with, even though he's retired.
Pargo?
Yeah, Pargo. He's good.
He's also still pretty good on the court, too.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
And so then you said TV shows?
TV shows, yeah.
So what's on the list right now?
I just finished this one show called Attack on Titan. Fire. Best show you'll ever watch in your life.
Tackle Titan?
Attack on Titan.
Okay.
Yeah, fire. Stranger Things has been high on my list. What else I really like? Rick and Morty. I like Rick.
So let's say we were in Philadelphia. If you didn't have friends in town, I mean, could you after practice just sit there and knock out 10 episodes?
Yeah.
That's what you do.
Daniel Tice got me into the show called One Piece, and it's like got like 1,000 episodes. So I literally just sit down all day, just watch One Piece. That's all I do. Yeah.
If you could pick a dream foursome to golf with, you've got 3 other spots, and anybody can golf with you. Anybody.
Alive.
We'll allow you to bring people back in the day. Yeah.
All right.
I mean, we're already putting people all over the country and all over the world into your foursome. So why not?
Got you. All right. So Michael Jordan.
Okay.
Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods. Just because I want to see how good. Prime Tiger Woods. Okay. Prime Tiger Woods. And I need some laughs in there. I need like a comedian or something. We're gonna go with Dave Chappelle.
He was just here too.
Yeah,
Were you here? Did you see him?
Yeah,
it was fantastic.
Yeah, I'm a Dave Chappelle fan. Yeah.
A couple just kind of off the wall questions that I wanted to throw at you before we conclude this. What are your thoughts of the in-season tournament here so far?
I like it. Like at first, I mean, I didn't think any differently of it. Someone asked me, actually my friend literally asked me this yesterday about my opinion on the in-season tournament. And when they brought up the idea, I initially was kind of against it. I was like, why would we do that? It doesn't make any sense. And then somebody asked me before our first in-season game, do you look at this game any differently opposed to another regular season game? And I said no, because personally, I would still approach the game the same way because I'm still trying to win the ball game, whether it's in-season tournament or a non-in-season tournament game.
It's kind of a gotcha question.
Yeah. And then we played Philly on Tuesday, but that game felt differently. Interesting. Because I feel like as a team, we knew that if we won that game, we sit 2-0 in our division, and we had a really good chance of pretty much being the guaranteed winner of our division. So this game on Tuesday against Atlanta in Atlanta, once again, is going to have a different feel for us because I feel like as a team, we know we have a chance to go actually win something like now. So it does bring a little extra juice that I didn't think it would initially when it was brought up to my attention.
When you look at the couple of games that you've been in, they've both been close games. You guys have been able to pull them out. Does it feel more like a playoff vibe? Is it kind of in between a regular season game and a playoff game?
I'd say it's in between. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's a playoff game, but I wouldn't say it's a regular season game.
When this airs, it's possible the Atlanta game is over. So fingers crossed, because it's possible
we'll be 3-0.
If you're 3-0, you'll have won the group. Like you can win.
Yeah, we will have won the group. Yeah.
So hopefully, when you're all watching or listening to this, that's the case. If not, there's still chances for you guys to move on. But we'll speak it into existence now.
I'm glad he backed up what I felt being at the game in Philadelphia because it felt different. Now, I've been in Philadelphia for games before, and they were intense also. So it still would have had some intensity to it, but maybe just an additional notch. You grew up in South Carolina. You played college basketball in Nashville, Vanderbilt, and then in Boston. Now that you've had almost 2 full years, you're not quite 2 years a Hoosier. What are your impressions of Central Indiana and living here? And maybe if any of your friends in the league are watching, what would people like to know about playing for the Pacers or living in Indiana?
Man, it's peaceful out here. I like peaceful. Like I don't really like hearing cars beep and all that stuff outside my window. I want to hear birds chirp. I want to see grass. I want to be able to go take a walk. So that's kind of what I find Indianapolis to be. It's just like it's a peaceful place, peaceful city, and love it here. Yeah.
So this is the first, 4th, 5th of the season. Very early, but can you project out kind of individual team goals? What should be the goals for this team this season?
Playoffs. I think that's literally the only thing. It's the only thing I'm focused on, and I think that's the only thing as a team we need to be focused on is just making the playoffs and going as far as we possibly can. Like that's what we play for.
I'm not sure if you had a chance to read the Ringer article that was kind of centered around Tyrese, but I do want to ask you about him because you have played with some great players in your brief career. What's it like to play with him? What kind of player can he be? And what could that mean for the future of the franchise that obviously, hopefully, you're a part of for a long time too?
Man, he just continues to get better and better. He's really, really good at what he does, and he's sneaky good. He's very deceptive in the way he plays. And he's one of those guys where, throughout the course of the game, you're playing, you come out the game, you look up at the scoreboard, Ty has 20 and 12, and you don't see it happen in real time. But at the end of the third quarter, beginning of the fourth, you look up and you're like, oh man, he's hooping once again. And I think there's something to be said about guys like that who just make it look smooth and easy. So
You talked about playoffs being the goal for this season. Final question here from me. Right now, if the season were to end 11 games in, a silly comment, but you are in the top 6, so you would be there. At the same point, I think there's a general understanding here from the coaches, the players, that you want to see the defense take some steps forward here, and you're early in what's kind of a new system. What is it going to take for the defense to get where it needs to be as a team, and if it can get there, what are you able to accomplish considering how good the offense has been?
I think it might just be repetition and continuing to buy in and be disciplined, fouling, rebounding. I think we got guys who have the will to do it and want to do it. So it's just cleaning up little things.
Okay, final thing from me, it's when people watch this, it's Thanksgiving week. So I'll give you the opportunity to say what you're thankful for and maybe give a shout out to the fans watching.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I'm just thankful to be here, thankful for the opportunity that I get to play this game every day. And that's pretty much it.
While we're sharing what we're thankful for those who don't know, you've got the post-game show, and there's a 30-minute window in there, right? So all the players, they make themselves available, but not everyone does it kind of on their own schedule. Some guys do a little bit of a workout after a game, and I'm grateful because you're a quick shower, you're quick to dress, and if you see Aaron on the post-game show a lot, it's of course because we want to talk to you, but it's also
because I'm available.
You're available in our window, so thank you. Thank you very
Every time
much.
I come back, I'm like, man, me again?
It's you and Andrew, and I'm going to try to not wear you two out by season's end, but we do appreciate it. Thank you for joining us here. Best of luck here as the season goes on.
Thank you, guys.